Hey everyone, Drew Roberts here with Milwaukee Real Producers. Have the awesome opportunity to speak with one of our preferred partners, Wes Rosenberg from Building Waters today. Wes has been a partner with Milwaukee Real Producers from the beginning and just has a phenomenal business located in Racine, Wisconsin. And we're very excited to learn a little bit more about Wes and his business today. And so Wes, really appreciate you taking some time today to give us some insight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely. I love to start off, just kind of give everybody that's listening to the video an opportunity to learn a little bit more about Building Waters and kind of how you got started and where you guys are currently going.
Well, so originally, I used to be the master plumber for the school district of Racine. When that Act 10 happened with Scott Walker and people were protesting and all that business, it became a very cutthroat place to work, and I wasn't very happy working there anymore. So I thought, I'm just going to go get a job in the private sector and just get away from the politics of it all. So I went and applied at the local union, and they told me that there was, at the time, there was 60 people that were on the bench or on the unemployment list, and I was going to be number 61. And I thought, and they said, so if you give us $500 to join our union, then what we'll do is you go home and watch Oprah or something, and then we'll just call you when we get something. And I thought to myself, man, no one loves me. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to try to start my own business and just try to put food on the table as a one-man show and just feed my family that way. So I started the business. I stayed at Unified 2 more years and struggled through it. I worked during the day at Unified, and then I took a risk and I put a Yellow Page ad out when the Yellow Pages was working. It cost me $33,000 a year, and I was only making $52,000.
Wow.
I was only making $52,000 at the time. I thought, you got to be all in. I'm going to be all in and try to do this. And so I put that in, and I started getting I advertised for emergency service. And then I thought, people that want to use us for emergency service are usually want to use us after hours or on the weekends. And well, I was working during the day, so that kind of worked out kind of good. I grew the business. I landed a lot of accounts at a lot of the charter schools in Milwaukee at the same time, and became kind of their maintenance guy. So I'd work from 7 to 3:30 at Racine Unified, and then I would work the charter schools at night, and then pull off of that for emergency service during the evenings. And I'd probably work from 4 o'clock in Milwaukee till 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock, get home, go to sleep, get up at 7, do it all over again. And
Wow.
And then I was doing that, and when I started making enough money doing the second gig, as you could say, then I finally gave my notice and left Unified. And that happened to be 2 years later. And that was really kind of funny, is that the same week I gave my resignation and I left, I lost the charter accounts because they got new boards of people up there and they had their own contacts. And I lost my contacts. And then I did more grass cutting and folding laundry at the house than plumbing in the next month. And then things started picking up. And by November, I had to hire a man. And then by February, I had to hire my second guy. So it worked out. And then I thought to myself, I'm getting so much older. I got to have a goal of, I don't know if I'm going to be able to physically be able to do this type of work, into my 59, 60 years old. My goal was then I got to try to get 5 trucks on the road with 5 other guys, and I can push them around and manage the business by the time I'm 55. I'm 54 now. And at that time, that was my goal, and we've kind of grown from there. And I got approached. Things have fallen in play in my favor. I actually had a guy who did heating and air conditioning that wanted to get into business with me. And I says, I don't really know enough about it. I knew this guy was very well versed in that department. And I said, if you want to join my team, he wanted to be partners. I didn't want to be partners with him because I thought, if he gets upset with me after a year or something, then I got to sell everything I got to try to make things right with him, And so I cut a deal. I said, you run your game in my company with my representation. I'm still the boss. And at the end of the day, when I'm ready to retire, I'll be willing to sell it to you. And that's the agreement we have. He's doing a great job for us. He runs our heating division. I have the plumbing division. And then down the road, a little while later, I was looking at what could complement us. So I thought what I would do is I would work with a lot of subcontractors and remodels and things of that sort. And I found one that was a square shooter and was honest. And so I approached him and I kept teasing. I hired him to do a remodel job for our company and of our office space. And while the whole time he was there, he was kept saying to me, I would say to him, hey, why don't you join the winning team and things of that manner. And he had no interest in it. And then after this, the job was done, and 4 months later, I got a call saying, hey, I'm tired of being a lone ranger, and would you be willing to, is that offer still on the table? So we brought him on. It worked out really well because we complement each other in the fact of he can do the remodeling of a whole kitchen where before I could just do the plumbing portion, or he would have to hire me if he had a remodel job to do the plumbing portion. Now we can do it and keep it all in-house, coordinate it in-house. There's no marking up of for example, if you hire a subcontractor, you usually mark it up 10%, and that's because you're liable. It's not because we're all trying to make money on it, though we are, but it's because now you're liable for a subcontractor's work. In this case, he's in our house, he's in our wheelhouse, and we can keep our costs down a little more because of the fact that we don't have to mark up at that 10%. We shoot the customer straight on a price of what it's going to take, and it is what it is. And that's kind of how it played out.
And I think one of the things too, Wes, I know you and I have had a lot of conversations, offline, obviously not recorded, that we're putting out, on the internet, right? But, one of the things that I know is very important to you that I think is just a testament to how much you guys have grown is just super customer focused, and I think that that's something that is definitely very important to you. And I think that's a huge attribute to your company just growing overall. But I guess tell us just a little bit more, I guess, about that side of the business. I know you love working with realtors and things like that. And we've gotten some phenomenal feedback from agents already just on the process that you guys and how you guys have a process in place to work with agents. But I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about how you've done that so well, in the past and moving forward.
In the past, when I was small, the job came in, I got it done. The job came in, I got it done myself, and it worked out pretty good, and I was hungry and trying to make stuff happen. And what happened was, there was many times when I was growing, Friday would come and I had nothing for these guys to do on Monday, and I was freaking out. Oh my God, what am I going to do? They're going to leave me now because I don't have nothing. I don't have any work for them on Monday. And then I started I started identifying emergency stuff and stuff that could be put off till Monday on emergency calls from the weekend. And it kind of worked out that way. And I always only had maybe 1 or 2 days worth of work available to us. We focused more on the smaller jobs and problem jobs. We've done $1 million jobs and things like that. But my main bread and butter was always focusing on the small jobs and the resolving problems kind of thing. And I found that was working for us pretty good. So I've kind of made it a rule of thumb that I try to get to everyone within 3 days. The best we've ever done is had 2 weeks backlog of work. And then what we try to do is I always try to leave, I take a chance, it's a chance on my part. I keep one man empty where he has nothing to do, or 2 men empty where there's nothing to do. And they're more or less sitting on their lunchbox waiting for the phone to ring. Fortunately enough, that's not the case. They're not sitting on a lunchbox. But now we kind of keep them working all day long, running service for emergency stuff that comes in. Bang, bang, bang. Hey, when you get done with that job, run over here. This lady just called in. And we try to take care of the emergency service day of, but we try to hit everybody within a 3-day period. Worst case scenario, for example, if it's emergency, it gets done today. And if it gets done overtime and things of that matter. If it's something that you put off, I try to put it off no longer than 3 days. And that's kind of been what I've strived to push on my girls in the office to the same motto. And we've been doing pretty good with it. And it gets a little more edgy in the office sometimes because of the fact that, you're always worried, for example, with this coronavirus thing going on, the phone stopped ringing. It's like, oh my God, what are we going to do with these two guys that don't have work? It's something that always seems to fall into play, and we got someone we can feed our people and give them work. So it's working for us, and that's kind of the way I'm running it. Others may run it a little differently, but that's kind of why I run ours.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing too. I mean, the feedback that I've gotten from agents that obviously you were originally referred to me by, but also the agents that continue to use you, is just being able to really understand that process when it comes to closing on a home or getting jobs done, and obviously the emergency, right? If there is a closing coming up that, jobs need to get done. And I think that's just a huge attribute to how you do business, right? I actually didn't know the story of that's kind of how it started, which I think is really cool. But I think that's one of the real main reasons too, is not only the quality of work that you guys provide, but also the understanding that there is some sort of emergency type situations, and the fact that you guys are prepared for that, I mean, just makes you working, especially on the real estate agent side with their clients, just ideal,
Real estate agencies are a piece of our action that we do, but the girls know, and everyone knows in our world, that our job when we're going with a real estate company, and I say this all the time, is that our job is plumbing, yes, but it's to close the deal. And what I do is I go in there and I try to shoot a real estate agent straight on what needs to be done, realistic costs. Sometimes it's not what they want to hear, but I really try, I know my job is to close that deal and try to do it as effective and as cheap as possible to make it happen. And I really try to be fair. I want them to call me again, and you're fair, and I build a great relationship with them. They'll call me again, and that's it in a nutshell. So
Definitely.
Relationships is the key, and it's communication, is the key to everything.
Big time. What, and tell us a little bit more too. Obviously, hopefully this virus thing is ending here in the next couple weeks, and we can all slowly get back to where we were before. But I guess, what are some of the things you guys have kind of put in place, and like how have you kind of handled this virus?
Well, I try to look at our company. We were talking about it this morning. It's really kind of funny. A lot of companies are really run real regimented and business-like, and I really push and strive to have. I want this to be a family. Every one of these people that work for me mean a lot to me. We need each other. We try to work as a team. A team is, I was prior military. I know a team is very important, and that's how I push it. One of the things we did was, as soon as this all went down, I brought them all in. I had a big meeting. I says, none of us know where this is going to go. We're not alone. No one knows where this is going to go. I don't know how it's going to affect the business. I will try to keep feeding you all work. If times start getting slow, because of the fact we're all on the same team, I would hope that some of the younger guys that still live with mom and dad and have been banking money for years, that they'd be willing to give up their hours for someone that's got a mortgage, has got kids to feed at home. I says, we all try to take care of each other. And I says, I don't want any of you guys going in your 401k and trying to get money to pay your mortgages. Come talk to me first. We'll figure something out. If I got to try to give a loan of some sort, but if you take your 401k money, you're ruining your life forever, not just for this moment, taking out the 401k. So I want you to keep your money in the bank. I'll try to feed you, and we're going to do this as a team together, and we'll take shifts to make sure everyone's getting fed and get food on the table. And I told everyone that every credit card now, everyone has a credit card for gas, material, whatever. Everything's got to be approved through me, because sometimes, I don't want guys just going out buying us new drill or Sawzall or something. And, everything's got to be monitored now. We got to try to keep our money close to our chest. Everything goes COD. Everything was going COD at the time, cash on delivery, because we didn't know where, people are laid off. They don't have money to pay, but they still need a toilet, So everything had to be cash on delivery, or we had to see if we could set them up for some kind of financing. One of the things we did. We did cut some advertising, just stuff that I knew I could get out of, just to keep money close to the chest. I just wanted to make sure I could still make payroll, and keep people happy, keep my guys happy, and keep their families fed. I know their kids, I know their wives. We have 30 employees, and I know them all, and they're all good people. I love them all dearly. And this last Christmas, we had a Christmas party. And this is, the stigma in a man doesn't say I love you. And every one of my guys came up to me and said I love you, at the end of the night. And it kind of floored me. I was kind of shocked, because that's not what a man does, but that's what they did. And I was just floored, and I love them too. And, we try to be a close-knit family, we're all in this together. Just try to put food on the table.
Wes, and I think from a standpoint too, there's probably people that are going to watch this video that I think can kind of learn from that a little bit too. And, I think there's different types of business owners, and there's different, I kind of say with the partners that we have with Real Producers, like obviously there's prerequisites and things like that, but it's one of those things that build their business the right way, that do business the right way. And I think that, just kind of what you just said is probably a very, very key reason as to why you've grown so quickly, you've built the reputation you guys have, and you continue to grow. I know you're definitely an ideas guy, which I love. I could sit and talk for hours about different ideas. But I just think that's awesome what you're able to continue to do, not only for your company and the employees and things like that, but the continue work with just everybody in the community and things like that. So definitely appreciate that. Appreciate being just an awesome partner as well. We've, like I said, just had had so many people come back to us and tell us how great you guys do and how you treat them, and customer service, and it's just phenomenal. But would love to kind of want to wrap up a little bit, but I want to give you just an opportunity to kind of leave us with any any thoughts or anything just about you, the company, and we'll wrap up from here.
I know that we are all human beings. We all have a limited budget. I know that we all have needs, and we all have special talents. A car guy knows how to fix cars. I know how to do plumbing. We try to keep our prices fair. I tell my guys, I says, you are a guest in their home. Imagine every home is your mother's or your own, and treat it with respect. And, we'll go a long way, and be honest, straight up forward. I says, sometimes I try to make a spiff, like to get guys to upsell a little bit on certain jobs. I says, but if you gouge them, I said, you ruin the whole company. Be humble. And, if you want to upsell, don't be gouging these customers. You're a representation of me as a person. And just be straight up honesty. It's the best policy. And we'll all go a lot further in this world if we do that. And, sometimes if mistakes happen on a job, you eat them and move forward. Just go on, move forward. We want to grow our heating division a lot bigger. We want to grow our plumbing division bigger and our remodeling company bigger, and we're doing that in many different ways. And like I said, like customer service and taking care of our customers, and they're the most important thing, really.
Definitely.
So.
And I can attest to this. My own mother read Real Producers when Wes, when we did your feature, and it just happened where like that magazine got shipped, and she read it, and then their furnace went out. So she's like, should I call Wes? And I'm like, heck yeah, you should call Wes, you know? So what I can tell you is the guys that came out to my mom's house that did that work, not only was my mom super happy with the price, right? She was expecting, you know, I don't know exactly what she was expecting, but she was very happy with that. But she was also very happy with how they left the house, how professional they were, and just the timeliness of how that got done. And so I can say firsthand to everything that you are saying, Wes, is 100% how that infiltrates through your employees. And I think that's just, like I said, I kind of forgot about that. And then when you were talking about that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what he did for my mom, which was really awesome. So, awesome, Wes. Well, I really, really appreciate your time today. And we'll definitely see each other soon at the next event for sure, whatever that is. It'll be soon, I'm hoping, but we'll definitely connect here soon. But really appreciate your time, Wes.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Talk to you later.
Yeah, bye.